school, but then when I was in senior school, I went and did the play, The Man of La Mancha.
I was in a lot of plays too.
Yeah.
The Man and the Muncher. What's he munching on?
Like Man of La Mancha.
La Mancha.
What's
La
that?
Mancha.
Never heard of that.
Oh no, some play about a European going to some country. It's, I can't remember.
We did a lot. I was in a lot of play. I was in like a lot of like speech and drama play stuff in primary school.
Really?
Yeah, I was like a lot of the time I was like the lead.
Oh wow, what was your biggest
dude.
lead?
And then in year 6, I had a teacher that absolutely hated my guts, and she didn't give me a role at all.
Made you the tree.
And like I didn't even get I didn't even get a role.
You're playing the tree.
I love those kids. Like you're the wind.
Love those videos.
the wind.
And they're so excited about it too.
You're the sun, but you can just.
Dad, I got the sun.
I don't know if it's from a
Like,
movie.
there's a video of that recently. There was a kid who was like really excited about the role he got, and the mum was like, "Oh, that's so good," and the mum was tripping out.
It's funny, no, I think it shoots to that video, or it might be just a video I've seen a while ago. It shoots to the parents, and there's 2 parents sitting together. She goes, "Oh, which one's your son?" And she's like, "Oh, he's the main character on there." She's like, "Who's yours?" And then the dad's like, he's the fucking wind. And then his son's just like...
Mate, whatever you get, you got to be happy with. You know?
100%.
You know?
Man, I swear these teachers, they must have a very big laugh in the like staff room. Do you know what I mean? About the shit that goes on.
Bro, that's the same as a PT. When you go to the PT office with the PTs.
Yeah.
It's a bit of banter in there about the clients.
You'd have some savage PTs who would like, obviously in front of the clients, they'd be like, super encouraging. I'm like, bro, you should have seen what this...
Well, I suppose it's like that in most jobs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always going to always hang
Talking
about that persona.
Clients,
It's not good to have like to be fake in front of the customer, but
No,
you're always
of
going to
course
have
not.
a bit of a joke. Like I'm sure the coaches at our gym like have jokes like fucking hell, Matty and JP, they're fucking late, the dickheads, or some shit like that.
Day 1 today, boys.
Day one.
Day
Yeah.
one. Day one of what?
Day 1, 2 minutes early.
Day 101.
I
Yeah,
said that with
but I
Jules in
reckon
the
they'll even just
check-in.
talk about us as 5am. We're pretty rowdy.
Totally.
Well, it's funny because every time like Urs or one of them shares those memes, it's always like, oh, the 5 a.m. coach is like real G'd up and the 5 a.m. class is like relaxed, but it's the other way around for us.
Yeah, opposite.
The coach is like, hey, everyone, and we're just like running an absolute muck.
It's mad, but like going into a class like that and being just hyperactive, I don't know, it's hectic.
Yeah, if any of you
It's awesome. So good.
Arvo flops are listening, we don't care. We
4pm, 5am.
no, we like them.
Nah, yeah.
But we like you, but we have the best class.
I used to train at 4pm. It was quiet. It was very quiet.
Yeah, I remember you used to train at 4 p.m. That's when you first started the gym, right?
Yeah, and I was like trying to hype, like they would hype each other up. Like I'm not saying they wouldn't, but it's just different to 5am.
Yeah.
Very different.
I think it's where there's a lot more. I think people are just a lot more like comfortable.
Yeah, but there's enough of us energetic people in that class anyway.
That's right. You can't
Like-
just have like 1 or 2 energetic dudes.
Yeah.
Because like then it's a minority. Whereas
Yeah.
like there's enough of us for it to bring out the degenerate in everyone.
Yeah, you wouldn't want 10 of you running around or 10 of me running around, or you know what I mean?
no.
It would be a mosh
I mean,
pit.
if there was 10 of you running around, we wouldn't have enough weights in the gym.
There would be no one. There'd be no one training. You'll be late.
If there was too many of us, class wouldn't start until 5:45.
5am's cancelled.
4 would become 5.
They cancel it.
5 would become tomorrow. 7 p.m. would
that's right.
become the next day. But good chat, boys. I feel like the vocal boxes have warmed up a little bit. But been a good couple of weeks. Episode, where are we at? 32 today.
32. Yep.
32. And I think
32.
we're having a bit of a discussion off there, and I think the fun thing that we've been doing is finding our niche a little bit more, and I guess trying to work in not a direction. I think the most fun conversations or most enjoyable conversations being listened to by our growing audience is we've heard a lot of that
Slow and steady.
lifestyle sort of conversations, and I think the ones that we have the most fun of doing are from like a point of like personal experience, and that got me thinking this week, boys.
What are you thinking about?
There's a lot we have difference, but there's a lot we have in common. And I think one of the big things that we have in common is probably like sort of that upbringing around Sydney, and it just got the creative juices flowing a little bit. But one thing I just want to touch on is, this might sound a bit strange, but like, have you noticed how acai bowls recently have just kicked off? I don't know,
Like a resurgence or something.
a resurgence of the acai bowl. I've always loved acai bowls. All right,
When did they first become a thing? Because was frozen yogurt, was the yogurt first? Was that?
Yeah.
Do you remember Moshi in
Froyo.
the one in Strathfield? No, there was one in Strathfield. Everyone would try Moshi,
It was like
Moshi.
and there was a line all the way out to Strathfield
Oh, for
Station.
yogurt.
It was
Yeah,
like the boba of the 2012s.
Is boba tea? Boba tea?
Boba tea. All those-
Boba's like a gong cha.
Is boba tea nice? I've never.
Asians
tasted it.
love it,
Is that
bro.
with the?
Bro,
Is that with the balls?
Everyone loves it. It's delicious. Bro, let's listen. It's
calorie.
There's
Is that
one
with
in
the balls, though?
There's one in Greystanes shops now. Greystanes.
little
Yeah.
pearl balls in your mouth.
Greystanes is on the map because it has a gong cha and a hawa chicken now. Anyway, I'm just
Wow.
sorry.
Oh, hawa
Shout out to
chicken.
That's
Greystanes.
something we're going to touch on a little bit more. Keen to get all the Sydney siders all rolled up, but the acai bowl.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, that's all right. From my understanding, and this is just from my own personal memory, I remember acai bowls first seeing them when Tumblr was a thing. Now, if you remember Tumblr,
Wow.
That's a long time ago.
Tumblr
Yeah.
was the Instagram before Instagram. Okay, it was almost like a cross.
Tumblr,
It was almost
Vine.
like a Pinterest of sorts.
Bebo.
Bebo, yeah, Bebo.
Viber.
Wow.
You didn't have a Bebo.
I had a Viber.
You don't know what Bebo is.
Bebo is it's the little orange one.
MSN Messenger.
Wasn't it with the head?
Oh, yeah, no, red.
Red.
MSN
Did you have Bebo?
Yeah.
You didn't have MSN Messenger.
MSN
No,
Messenger
I
was
missed that.
ancient, bro.
Oh, bro, that's goat.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, we're going to shoot off into
Yeah.
those nostalgia. But just quickly,
Go.
what do you get on your acai bowl?
I get. Well, I've only had a couple of times.
Okay.
So I get strawberries. I get honey.
Peanut butter?
No, I don't like peanut butter. Oh. Yeah. You guys go first.
Bro, listen.
Talk about what you have in your acai
Sean's
bowl.
never had an acai bowl, so we've just established.
JP,
Yeah, I've had it twice.
Talk
Two
to the
or three
people.
times.
Okay, I've had a lot of acai bowls. All right. Now, my go-to at the moment, by far and away, is oakberry acai.
Okay.
Which is they have one in the most unbelievable part about it is it's amazing. But the reason it's so great is one, it's actually right near the beach in Bondi. It's like a little
I know that.
caravan
Yep.
thingy.
Fruit cottage. Oh.
But their peanut butter is like this grainy, unbelievable consistency. Anyway, so what I get in it basically is, of course, acai, peanut butter, extra peanut butter. I get granola.
Yep.
I love granola, so I usually get
You
extra
need it. It's
granola.
crunchy.
Like blueberries, bit of strawberry, banana.
Yep. Okay, I love
do,
that.
do people get acai without granola?
Okay, just
It
quick
makes
correction
gr-
here.
it makes gr-
Asahi
I like the
is
crunch.
Japanese beer. Acai.
Acai.
Super dry.
So yeah, no, it's a common misconception.
So say it again.
Acai.
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 A-C-A-I.
Acai.
Acai. Okay, so granola is... Everyone gets granola in their acai?
Not everyone. I mean, look, I just like the crunch factor.
crunch.
Yeah, I feel
like
it
the
makes
crunch
it like
factor.
when I've had it, I've always had.
It's absolutely
granola.
delicious.
Yeah.
But-
Anyway, you go.
No,
What
that's
do you
okay.
have?
For me,
What do you get on
standard
yours?
order. Okay. I don't like too many toppings, okay? and the acai bowl, just for a little history lesson, has actually undergone a bit of a
Transformation?
shift, a bit of a transformation in recent years. So I remember acai bowl first seeing him on Tinder. Tinder.
Yes.
Swipe right. Swipe right on that bowl. Yeah, she's got peanut butter, I'm swiping right. No, on Tumblr, I should say. But as things have sort of progressed and changed, especially since... Fuck.
Sorry, I was just putting the AC on.
That's okay.
It's a bit hot.
Especially as it
After that
started to
Tinder.
change. So everyone would have seen on Instagram and TikTok especially the rise of Thirsty Monkey. Now let me just talk about Thirsty Monkeys for a second. Jacob, if you're watching this, Thirsty Monkey had just came out and tipped the acai bowl world on its fucking head. All right? So came out, started making these videos about the unbeatable texture. I don't know if you've watched his videos.
No.
He's really used TikTok as a platform to grow in popularity and really boost acai bowls out the arse. Now, I went to Thirsty Monkey and I've got to say the acai bowls are delicious. I like that they're consistent. I like that they use the machine, okay? Because that's really the big pivotal change in acai bowls when they used to get blended by hand with banana and coconut water.
Inconsistent,
Slurry, depends who makes it.
Slurry.
Takes a long time. But I actually had an acai bowl machine in my shop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I started to see a lot of the overseas shops started to use the machine. Oakberry, really prominent. Oakberry.
And I don't think they used to all use the Amazonia superpower,
Yep.
that blend.
So there's two. There's Amazonia is one of the big ones. The most people are using are Amazon Power.
Sorry, that's the one I
Is
was
that the
Power.
blender to get the stuff?
You can get buckets from most companies, but the buckets that most people are using are Amazon Power. And you pour them into the top of the machine, and I used it.
Kristen, can you bring in those acai bowls?
I felt like I was ahead of my time, to be honest, with my acai bowl machine. And granted, if I go back in time, I probably would have pushed on TikTok a little bit more, like just being really silly, because
They look nice.
they are
They look very visually appealing.
yeah.
They are visually appealing. Oh, bro. Okay, I got an acai bowl machine. So basically, just I poured the liquefied mixture because you had to take it out of the freezer, mix it really well, and then pour it in the top of the machine. But I forgot to put the cover or the seal on the top where you pull the lever down to get the acai to come out. I took off that to clean it, and then I poured an entire bucket of acai through the top, and it just came out. All over the floor.
What a disaster.
On a Saturday morning.
What a fucking
Bro,
disaster.
It was the most frustrated I've ever been working in a coffee shop, because the whole floor and walls were just purple.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm a fucking moron. I just forgot to put the cover on.
Did you sell quite a bit? Like, were
When I had them, yeah, we did.
Good?
Yeah, when I had them, we did. But to put it into context, we would sell maybe like 2 or 3 buckets a week. These guys are like the drug dealers of acai.
Who?
Bro, Thirsty Monkey are doing...
Where's
Yeah,
Thirsty
where
Monkey,
is this?
bro?
Okay, they've got one in Wentworth Point, one in Marrickville, and now one in Parramatta.
Oh, I've never heard of it. I thought My
Parramatta.
Fruitologist was one of the bigger ones.
No, okay, bro, these guys are shitting on the fruitologist. A lot of people, he's getting a lot of hate on Instagram because people are saying, acai bowls have been a thing way before you brought them out. Yes, true, but I feel like the way he's marketing these acai bowls, they've almost shifted from a health conscious, because it's a Brazilian treat. It actually originated from Brazil. A health conscious treat to having it like, he's made it like dessert, where before you could only get like condensed milk topping and like peanut butter. Now like you can get fucking Bueno, which is what I get. It's fucking,
Yeah, well, that's what-
delicious.
But bro, it's just not healthy anyway. Like, I mean,
Yeah, but that's what the whole appeal was, from what I remember.
Right,
like
but-
it was like acai bowls, this
But
healthy
but
alternative.
they were
or
like
whatever.
saying, acai, like superfood, but
Yeah.
it's like
Yes, because
It is
it
a
is
superfood,
berries and
but
you had
it's
peanut
not.
butter.
There's no such thing as a superfood. What is
No,
a superfood?
the berry itself, it's not processed. It is like a frozen fruit. Yes, it's high in sugar.
Right, it's probably the same as a fucking blueberry. Like, what's the
Very
difference?
high
But antioxidants are blueberries, but yeah, it's marketed as such.
Yeah, as in like what exactly it's marketed as.
Yeah.
That's how they came out and basically
Yeah,
said like,
because like I said, I've only had 3 or 4, but that was at Fruitology in Bondi.
Yep.
And I had one at a caravan at a competition, Western Games,
Yes.
the year before, and it was
yeah.
terrible
Oh.
because they made it
By hand.
By hand, but they had it at Fruitology, a fruitologist, I think it was, and it was the best. Like I loved it. So yeah,
I think for me-
I really liked them.
I rate them by price, taste, presentation,
Acai connoisseur.
acai. Do you like so price?
do you like acai?
Or value? value, presentation, toppings, and consistency. Now, with Thirsty Monkey, he claims that they got the unbeatable texture. That's what he claims. I don't know. Have
Is
you
that how
watched
he speaks?
Do you have the same thing every time you go have acai? Do
strawberry,
you have the same
bananas,
thing?
granola?
Yeah,
That's standard.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I get honey instead of peanut butter.
Okay. I feel like it's sweet enough. But moving away from that, there's now been
Are you
this,
sure?
Yes. Still on acai. I don't know what happened.
Episode 32 acai bowls.
Because you can go to Granville now and there are acai bowl shops everywhere. Literally
Yeah.
everywhere. It's actually astounding.
They've caught up.
Bro, they're everywhere.
Caught up to the
There's more
acai bowl
acai bowl.
craze.
I can name more acai bowl places near my house than McDonald's. I'm telling you. And the thing I'm
Yeah.
thinking is like, are Arabs not happy that someone made a legit business out of selling acai bowls, so they just had to go and copy him?
Yeah,
And that's
Are
what I'm
they,
thinking.
are there actually acai bowl places, or are they just cafes that make acai
There are
bowls?
specifically now
bit
acai
here
bowl
and there.
juice bar specific
Yeah,
orientated
right.
shops. And actually, Jacob from Thirsty Monkey came out to my brother's house to buy the machine off me, but he offered me too much of a low price. So I had
What a
to.
low
So do you still have it, or did you?
No, so I gave it back to the manufacturers. I had it on lease actually.
Oh wow, okay,
It's like,
cool.
yeah, it's like 15 grand.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, like 15 grand machines. But anyway,
Wow, expensive. Yeah, I like acai bowls. They're nice.
acai bowls.
Man likes his eyeballs.
But
Yeah.
that pushes me into like I guess the next sort of Sydney topic. And we're talking about food here. Obviously, Sydney's a bit of a melting pot around cultures and things like that. Boys, charcoal chicken.
Which is the
All right,
best charcoal chicken?
let's just list them out. All right, so we got El Jana. Obviously,
El Jana.
El Jana is known as like the staple. Maybe they could be considered like
The benchmark?
the pioneers.
They are the pioneers.
Even though like obviously charcoal chicken and just chicken's
Chicken.
been around a while.
What-
chickens themselves,
Charcoal Charlie?
chickens as a
Char grill Charlies,
Char-grill
very
Charlies.
different.
chickens as a
Char grill
species have been
Charlies.
out for a while, right? So we can't go and say that El Jana
They invented
started
chicken.
Yeah, well, Charlie started in not in Western Sydney.
No, it started in Bondi. I think.
Bondi somewhere.
Yeah, no,
No,
so
it's actually that main road in New South Head Road or something like. Anyway,
Yeah,
but
anyway.
we got El Jana, we got Frangos, we got Hawa, we have Lamono in the area,
Yep.
we have
Charco Bell.
Char Grill.
There's
Charlie.
Charco Bell on Fowler Road in Guildford. They're apparently quite delicious. There's some
Oh, you're talking about
Awafi, Hawa.
Awafi and Hawa, but I don't know that last one you mentioned, but those are like the staple ones that I can think of, and then of course like Char Grill Charlies and stuff,
Yeah.
which is
I don't even put them in the same tier. If you're talking about charcoal chicken anywhere west
Fine, yeah.
of Parramatta or anywhere east of Parramatta, you can go get fucked.
well,
Like why? Like,
technically,
what do you
no,
mean?
but
Like,
technically
why? 'Cause-
Frangos started in Petersham,
No, but listen,
Yeah.
Frangos is in a tier of its own.
yeah,
okay,
because
they're
it's not
god
really
tier.
like they're god tier.
And they're not Lebanese charcoal chicken. We're talking about.
So you're talking about Lebanese charcoal. We're
you're moving the
specific.
goalpost now, bro.
Okay, we're talking about charcoal chicken as a whole, but I think we're talking here like
Western Sydney.
Khabbers, Doom, pickles. All right.
No, bro, we still got to include Frangos in this conversation.
Frangos is in the conversation, but they're outside of the realm of charcoal chicken. Okay, we're talking about charcoal
Just a
chicken.
note for the audience when we're talking food.
Yeah.
I'll knock someone out.
Emotions are going to go flying.
That's right. Yeah.
But yes.
So, like, obviously there was, the rise, and I don't want to say the rise and fall of El Jannah, because El Jannah is still, it's still decent. I don't know. It's not my go-to, though, now. I feel like their chicken's a bit dry, if I'm completely honest.
But now they've got different spots.
It's undergone a franchise model.
It's like a takeaway.
They sold it or something.
Or are they still owning each store?
I don't think. I think they've sold a portion of it, or they've
franchised it out. Or,
they've done something.
There's a lot of stores. Like I went to the one in Smithfield,
but there are,
and
like,
there's a lot of stores
to the
around.
point, like
Newtown's got one.
Yeah.
There actually are like charcoal chicken wars. Like, I know we're talking about like acai bowls, because, bro, think about it. What happened in El Jannah Smithfield opened. Sorry, Frango's was there first. Then El Jannah Smithfield opened literally like basically next door with a drive-through.
Bro, in 5 Dock, they've got the Charlie's there, and then Frango's open right across the road.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Every time these chicken places
Right across the
open,
road.
they're like on top
Like,
of
legit,
each other.
you're eating at Charlie's and you can see Frango's right there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean,
But anyway.
Granville's where all that started. You had El Jannah, then you got Hawa, literally 50 meters. Then you had Awafi. I don't know. I haven't been to Awafi in a long time.
But let me tell you, bro, on South Street in Granville, okay, whoever's not been to Granville, if you're listening to this podcast from all parts of Sydney, if you need real charcoal chicken, you come to Granville, all right? You come to Granville, you come to the OG spot. You go to OG El Jannah, right across the road from the station. But then you can do, it's almost like, when you go these...
You want to go food tour or something?
It's like when these gentrified little fucking dogs from Marrickville go on a pub tour or a big...
It's just good for them to get their dose of Granville. It's good for... Yeah, I know. I see what you're saying.
It's like
when you need to go to Granville, which is the mecca of chicken.
That's good.
You got to go to Granville.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Shout out to Granville.
But then at the far end of
World
South
Gym as
Street, there's that shop on the corner. It's now called an Afghan cuisine place that hasn't opened. Before that, just recently it closed, and it was called Azmahan. It was like this Lebanese cuisine place, closed down. And before that, there used to be charcoal chicken. Then before that, it was called Hawa, before Hawa moved down.
Oh, okay.
And bro, this building is cursed because any business that opens there
fails. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's at the back end, isn't it?
That's at the back end.
You don't get much people going down that back end.
Correct. But then you've got the middle that you've got Hawa, and Hawa's actually quite decent.
Hawa's got everything.
Hawa's got everything.
They've got chicken, they've got fish, they've got a cafe.
Yes. Fish.
Yeah, they've got like they've got, it's like
it hasn't opened yet.
No, it hasn't
The
opened
fish
yet,
place.
but they've got their store and they've got like different sections within that one store.
Correct.
So different type of cuisines that you can have.
Yeah,
which is like-
definitely. Which is cool. They've got like a little Asian wok place.
Yeah.
But isn't like it just like on the topic of like chicken shops? I just find it the most unbelievably, I don't want to say genius business, because
simple.
Man, like you're just the same. You are literally churning out the same product. You have so much buying power. It's the same product over and over again. The vast majority, the 90% of the sales that you're going to make is like chicken.
And maybe the spices are different. That's all it really is.
If you're out of lamb, people aren't really going to give a shit that much.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like you're pumping out rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, but that's why you go for the chicken.
That's it.
Like that's the whole purpose of going
Exactly,
to these places.
exactly.
Obviously, it is just a chicken shop, obviously, but yeah, that's why you go. You want to get some charcoal chicken.
It's absolutely delicious. But then we go Frangos. Frangos just outside of that realm. What do you get from Frangos?
Oh,
Combo
bro.
2.
So normally, what I do is a few mates of mine, we used to work together at this company called LinkedIn. We catch up like maybe once a month or once every couple of weeks, and we go to Frango's. And we go to the Petersham one, which is like the OG one, because Frango means chicken in Portuguese.
That's right.
Right? And funnily enough, Petersham had also had its like kind of chicken wars too, because you had Silver's, which is on the corner, which I think may have even been there before Frango's. Silver's like if you want to go and have an authentic Portuguese dining experience, chicken and all, Silver's is on the corner up there, on that same street in Petersham where Frango's is. Highly encourage anyone listening, if you haven't been to Silver's, to go there. Anyway, so we catch up, we go to Frango's once every couple of weeks. We always get a burger each, shared chips, shared Greek salad large, and we get like 3 chickens. And we just go to town.
Yeah, big boy.
big boy,
big boy.
It's just the feat of a lifetime.
It is.
Yeah, I literally haven't been to Frango's that often, like 2 or 3 times.
Oh, bro.
Man, they're everywhere now.
I know. Yeah. I used to trade. So in North, where was it? where was the Frango's down at Balcombe Hills? Not Balcombe Hills.
Oh, it's Norwest, Bella Vista.
Norwest, Bella Vista, yeah, sorry. So I used to go to the
Business
gym
Park,
there at
right?
Anytime Fitness, yeah. Used to be Anytime Fitness, used to train there and used to be across the road.
Everyone
I only
goes
went like
there,
a couple of times. But yeah,
That pumps.
they used to talk about it all the time.
Bro,
Like at that point in time, it was like 5 years ago, and even now, but they used to talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Have you been Frango's? Have you been Frango's?
It's a
So
process
it's
line
nice.
there, bro. They like pump it
It's
out.
not, and they're busy. Like the times I've been there,
Always,
busy
bro.
They pump.
as.
Just talking about on the chicken wars, you know, like there is a lot of bloodshed in this chicken war game. My uncle was actually telling me, I swear, originally
got shot.
They go and just like poison each other's chickens. and shit.
Eljana,
Oh, wow.
Eljana, the original Granville Eljana, his brother actually split off with him. They originally opened the shop together, and
No
they
way.
yeah, bro.
What did he open?
I gotta go back and check on this.
That's hectic.
But bro, my uncle used to cruise down the streets of Granville, and they literally lit a fire in his brother's shop. That's why the Granville Eljana has like caught on fire multiple times. Pretty sure the brothers, the OG original Eljana
Wow.
brothers, had like serious beef. Bro.
Imagine letting
That's-
chicken get between
He actually went up. He went up, and he was the one who opened up Hawa, where Hawa is today, bro. Yeah, so there was legit,
wow.
It's like the Montagues and Capulets.
legit rivalry.
Imagine dying over
It's like
chicken.
Adidas and Puma. They were brothers.
Were they?
Yeah,
Were
Adidas
they?
and Puma. They split.
Yep.
Wow. Didn't know
Anyway,
that.
not chicken, but yeah.
There was more to that. There's actually more on
There's
that too.
more
Like
to it.
Nike, Onitsuka Tiger, they were like,
Yes.
there was something about that.
So the
No,
Onitsuka
so-
Tigers and the Nike Cortez were the same shoe.
Exact same shoe.
Yeah, because he went to Tokyo, and that's where he got his idea for Nike. It's in his book.
Was he working there or something?
No, he went over there. So it was in Hawaii to start with, and he went over to Tokyo, and then he went to shoe manufacturers.
Yeah.
And then he didn't steal the idea, but he took the idea from there.
Blue Ribbon Sports.
Yeah.
BRS, that's what Nike was called at first. You know
Yeah.
that? Blue Ribbon Sports.
Yeah, it's in his book. Read his book. It's a good book.
But anyway, back
to the chicken.
chicken.
Back to chicken.
So
Chicken.
you know, there's a new. Speaking of chicken, there's a new Chicken Run movie that's coming out.
Oh, Chicken Run.
Did you watch Chicken Run?
Is that the
when- for
Play-Doh?
your childhood?
The Play-Doh movie?
Have you seen Wallace and Gromit?
Yeah, Wallace and
Yeah,
Gromit.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Chicken
It's
Run.
like
Chicken
Chicken
Run.
Run,
Yeah, I remember
same
Chicken Run.
creator.
That was,
I
is it
remember.
Mel Gibson?
They're starting. Oh, they're doing a new one. I don't know
Mel
who's in
Gibson.
it.
He was in the first one. I'm pretty sure.
What was he?
Yeah. He was the
Bro,
main.
that's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's a long time ago.
But there's a new one coming out.
Wow.
Which might ignite more chicken wars. Who knows?
Well, speaking
Might
of,
light the flame.
relating this back to chicken,
Back to Acai.
Back to chicken.
no. I just remembered something because you were talking about, you know, we were on the discussion about how delicious chicken is, right? And I think that's one thing.
Should we just do a clip of like chicken?
I think that's something that we can all agree on. All right, it's hot. It's full of protein. When it's dipped in that garlic sauce, it's absolutely delicious.
chicken's
But
good.
Chicken is fantastic. But what you were saying before about like these brands splitting off with each other, you know, we're talking about Asics and Nike splitting off, and then you were talking about Puma and
No, Adidas and Puma. That's what the split was. Yeah.
and then we were talking about you know these brands that have just almost split from one another, but were somehow once related. It reminded me something that's related to both food and brands splitting off with each other. Did you know that the Michelin star food criteria is actually samely related to Michelin, the tire brand?
The Michelin Man. It was a Michelin guide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So for those that don't know, I'm just going to read a little bit here. So how the Michelin Guide made a tire company the world's fine dining authority. So Gordon Ramsay, the British celebrity, well-known chef, knows for his passionate ways and means that he tears apart subpar food. That's just a bit of an intro. When your restaurant is awarded a Michelin star restaurant, it is a sign that you've succeeded at the highest level of the chef. 2 stars in your restaurant is excellent. 3 stars in your restaurant is worth traveling to. And it's actually for the last reason, traveling, okay, that the Michelin brothers, Andre and Edouard, started the Michelin Guide in 1900. The French entrepreneurs had started a tire company 11 years earlier, and they decided that a ratings guide for hotels and restaurants would compel the limited drivers to use up their tires and buy more. That is genius.
And the relationship,
Okay.
there's like to extend that even further. The way that the reason why they put this guide together is it was like encouraging people to actually, you know, use the tires and to travel to these restaurants and to go and eat these different cuisines or these different restaurants and what have you.
There you go.
It's a pretty wild, like
That's cool.
Pretty wild relation. And I got another one for you that just blew my my brains out. So did you know that the Guinness World Record book
Guinness,
and Guinness the beer
yeah,
no
same
way.
thing.
are related? They're
Same
the same
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
So the story goes that
I heard that one.
to boost the number of sales of beers, they realized that people would sit in the pubs and
talk
discuss
and-
trivia, pop trivia.
Oh.
So they decided to create the Guinness World Book of Records because it was just such an interesting thing to chat over a couple of beers when you're absolutely shit faced. You know what I mean?
And have a
Did
chicken.
you used to get that book, the Guinness World Book, when you were a kid?
Yeah. That was the best thing to read.
So
that the encyclopedia.
yeah, so cool.
There you go.
rest of it.
Started by Guinness Breweries in 1951.
So with these two businesses, with the
Which
Michelin,
ones? Oh.
the Michelin, for example, did
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do well? Did it work? Did it help them?
Well, think about it. Go look outside in your tires, and I guarantee one of us has got some Michelin tires on.
Well, I mean, it's just like Michelin Man is like known as the. I think like him and like Bob Jane team.
Bob Jane, yeah.
That's in Australia.
I know, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like in terms of like if I think about tires,
Yeah.
I think of like the
But I'm
Michelin
talking
Man.
at the time that they actually started this.
Well,
What
it did,
was the
well, yeah,
outcome?
but
it did
It's
go on to
still-
create success.
Well, still
Yeah.
now you can go online, look at the Michelin guide, and it'll tell you.
Right.
Like if you zoom out on the map, it'll tell you these are the places to go to.
Yeah, sure. Like the Michelin star restaurant is like everyone knows. Like, oh, it's got a Michelin star. It's almost
it's
like
three. Three's the top.
three, I believe.
Three
Is
is
the
the
top.
But that's
yeah.
usually some fine dining bullshit.
I think we had two at Brother
The
Bear.
ones that are just Michelin the ones that are usually Michelin recommended.
Yours was the Bob
Jane
Jane star. Bob Jane team.
Bob Jane
star.
team.
Bob Jane team maps. Anyway, just to like close out on chicken.
Because we've got something interesting to talk about that's not related to chicken itself, but around chicken.
Yeah.
I just had this thing coming. And I do want to venture off food, but just it's because I
Don't
think
worry, you got
Yeah,
all the time. You got time. don't worry.
food to me, right, is so closely related to memories, right? Because the whole idea of
You know the guy that's like finding a link between everything? Like just speaking of food, Michelin. Food relate, memories. DJ, Kid Cudi did this song with David Guetta, Memories. And that relates to house music. And house
Actually, it
music,
relates to real estate, which I love.
house sounds like houses, which is real estate. And have you seen what the property
And we're in a house
market's
right
I
now.
worked at
Oh my
LinkedIn.
gosh.
No, but I think with food, like honestly, breaking bread, with people, it puts you in a vulnerable position. You wouldn't really eat with anyone you trust, and I feel like we almost break bread, hypothetically here every week when we sit down and have a chat, but. It's so memory inducing, some of the foods that you can have that bring on certain memories. And I was just thinking about Australian nostalgia and Australiana culture and like what it means to grow up Australian and in the experiences that we've all shared. And I often think back to like summertime, 2006, going to the Milk Bar. Remember going to the Milk Bar, bro?
Milk bar.
No.
You don't know the Milk Bar?
They had those back in the day,
A
like in the
milk bar.
80s and.
Yeah, bro. The
Brother,
milk bar.
don't tell me
milk
you've
bar.
been to a milk bar.
Bro,
That's
everyone-
before your time.
Bro, everyone had a milk
Which
bar.
milk bar?
Like the corner shop, bro.
Yeah, it's a convenience
It's
store.
called the Milk Bar, bro, where you can go and get potato scallops.
Maybe if you were living in Vaucluse or something.
Yeah,
Nah,
fish
bro.
and chips, like a fish and chip shop.
You're telling me,
Yeah.
Joseph, who owns the corner store, is calling his shop the Milk Bar.
Cause
in
it's called the
Granville?
Milk Bar, bro.
It's got the goat milk bar.
Cause you ask my mom, you ask my uncles, it's called the Milk Bar, bro.
Yeah, but that's what you. That's
Everyone knows it's called
maybe
the-
that's what you called it.
No, look. I just JP. Sometimes you just
Bro, you just Googled it, and that's why you think it's called the Milk Bar.
We call it a dairy in New Zealand. A dairy.
It's a corner shop.
Yeah, we call it
Okay,
dairies.
if you're listening, send us a message or whatever.
Yeah.
On
What did you
Instagram.
used to
We're
call
not
your
hard to
corner
reach.
store?
We don't have that many message requests. Is it a convenience store? Is it
Here
a
we
milk
go.
bar?
The Milk Bar.
Is it a corner
in
shop?
Australia,
Is it
a
dairy?
Milk Bar is a suburban local.
Look at the photo. It's from the 60s.
But all of those places are known as that. A short history of Australia's milk bars.
Okay, here we go. What is it saying? This is like, but look at the photo. It's black and white. It was called the Milk Bar, I'm sure, in the 80s.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Back in the day, it was.
Maybe
yeah,
my mum-
100%.
Yeah, I guess I always called them the Milk Bar. But anyway,
Yeah, but if your parents called it the milk bar and then
Anyway,
they told
convenience
you it was the
store,
milk
corner
bar,
store.
burger
Yeah.
with the burger with the lot.
There was one in Greystanes around the corner here. Had like a really old Toblerone sign on the front. You
Oh,
walk
yeah.
in, they've got the strawberry clouds.
Yes. And they
in
got-
the front.
yeah, they got the-
All the lollies, the lollipops,
the lolly
are 40
bags.
cents.
It's got like
50
the streets
Yeah.
ice cream fucking freezer.
Occasionally they'll get a junkie walk in there, try to steal something, and they'll run outside.
No, they'll do the dodges, go to the back line,
There's
look
a
at the front.
payphone outside the corner shop.
Payphone,
Always.
yeah.
You can go and you can
Telstra
buy single
payphone.
cigarettes. That's funny.
Yeah. We call it a dairy. That's what we call it in New Zealand.
The dairy.
Dairy, yeah.
Oh yeah,
The
left
dairy.
my scooter outside the dairy.
The dairy,
Left my
yeah.
scooter outside the dairy, bro.
But we
You
used
don't
to
know what I'm
have,
talking
bro.
No idea. Not a clue.
He doesn't know the video I'm referring to. You
Neither
don't know
does,
yeah.
neither does Sean. Look at his fucking face.
No, he does.
Yeah.
No, he kind of
You
does.
don't know.
He doesn't.
What are you fucking
He
talking
doesn't
about?
know. What is it?
What? Scooter outside the dairy?
Neck minute.
Next minute, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, neck minute. I know neck
Yeah,
minute.
that's-
Oh, does he say that before
Yeah.
that? Oh,
He
I know
goes,
the video.
left
Fuck
my
yeah.
scooter outside the dairy.
Next minute.
Neck minute.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize he says that before. All I just know is the neck minute bit.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, but just before we move off the topic of because we
Chicken.
before we,
I think this might be the episode title.
I think chicken.
Yeah, I think so.
I think chicken's a
32,
new word. Don't worry about catalyst.
32.
I think
32.
chicken is. What was I going to say? So you know what's always so nice about those corner shops, the convenience stores, milk bars, dairies, whatever you want to call them, is I remember always going there on my bike.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you'd be hard pressed to find a. I mean, look,
kid on a bike?
I don't know how. No, it's not even that. There's not that. There's not that many of them left. For one, those convenience corner stores are a bit old, a bit rickety. They got the old shelving with
Yes.
the
Yeah.
metal, and there's dots in the metal.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like some shelves are stacked, some have nothing. There's some noodles there. There's
Some old food
Because you know
there,
why? Because
yeah.
the service stations and the petrol stations now have all the convenience stuff.
Yeah.
So they've kind of
Well,
cut their grass.
isn't that where they make their money?
Well, bro, that's
Not
that's
the petrol,
since-
it's the actual-
Since Woolies and all these like they
Metros.
started buying them up.
Yeah.
They've turned them into little like supermarkets
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
So like all these little convenience stores
They're the
lost
new
their business.
convenience stores almost.
Yeah, I mean, but kids used to get on their bikes, ride, leave the bike
Yeah.
But
outside
did
the
you used to
convenience
did you used to
store.
walk to school? Did you used to ride to school? And you used to go there before school?
2 trains and a bus, mate. Try
Did
that.
you?
Yeah.
That's actually so interesting, eh? Like they really have. They've bought up that part of the market, and there's like no more
Yeah.
real
It's
room
kinda
for these.
sad.
It is sad. It is sad. I hate that.
The little guy, you know what I mean?
The little guy, and that's been happening across all industries. I feel like
Everything.
the little guy has just been swept out from under the rug.
You know, the only place where the little guy, and I think maybe, I think it's big around the world, but in Australia in particular, Aussies don't like, and we don't like chains of stuff.
We don't.
We like boutiques. We like little
Yeah.
restaurants, little bars, little cafes and stuff. So that's where we
Yeah.
still thrive because there is still like a perceived like, I guess like an elevated status that we associate with like a boutique or a small one. Whereas maybe, I still think it's like they have this in the US, but like there's more chains over there.
Yeah,
And this actually- this is a
chains are
gr-
crazy.
Chains are huge, like Denny's,
Massive,
IHOP.
yeah.
You got all these like.
This is a
Taco Bell.
great segue
Wendy's.
into, I think, a topic that's related to this, which is specialty boutique coffee shops.
Yes, but quick, before we go on to chicken, coffee. Sorry, coffee. Both start with a C. Just speaking of chains and stuff, like do you remember, like Outback Steakhouse and Sizzler, Outback Steakhouse
Sizzler
still
was
a thing.
hectic.
Sizzler was mad,
so
bro.
good.
The chicken tenders.
Yeah. But I talked about this before, but you guys didn't have Denny's, did you?
Denny's.
You had Denny's.
Denny's, yeah.
In New Zealand? As in the
bro, it
American chain?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
it
we
was
never had that here.
Bro, I think Denny's was better than Sizzler. Like, I love Sizzler, but Denny's was so
what
good.
characterizes Denny's food? Like, what do you get there?
Denny's does everything. Like, you have like 15
As
to
long as
20.
it's fried.
20 to 15 different options for breakfast, lunch, dinner, but you
always
can
hated
have it
that.
at any time. So when we used to go out and go drink, we used to go to Denny's at like in the morning, 6 in the morning, so it's 24/7, and we'd have like steak and eggs and chips and waffles and
that's
and
mad.
milkeshakes.
That's mad.
Bro, it was hectic.
That's-
It was
that
so
is
good.
good.
That sounds like it's like diner style.
Yeah, diner style.
Yeah.
But they'll have the you look at the pictures. I actually have the pictures of all the food.
Yeah, man.
So it would be like 10. What is it? The what do you call it? Not the recipe book. The
Menu?
Menu. Sorry, the menu. Jeez.
You were not searching for the word menu. You were not just searching for the word menu.
What's that
So
thing?
anyway.
It's got it's like all. It's got all
The recipe book. You said recipe book to begin with.
Anyway, so the menu that had the pictures of the actual food itself, it was hectic. So yeah, you could have whatever you want. So, but Sizzler was nice though. We used to go.
Yeah, Sizzler was mad.
We used to
There
go
was
to
one on the-
birthdays.
There was
That was
one on
like
the
a-
Great Western Highway here as well.
Yeah.
In South
It's
Winnie.
like, that was like it's like I wanted to go to what's that word?
A bit of a throwback to episode 2 here. Can't even read. sorry. Low blow.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, on your point of like Australians, and I think like
I thought you were about to say chicken.
Now, on your point of like Australians, like why do you think the Australian consumer
Likes
doesn't like to buy into chains? Because when Starbucks actually first came to Australia, they failed miserably.
Yeah.
I think now they've had a bit of resurgence, and I think they've found their place in the market of Australian coffee. But when they initially came out, they failed miserably, and Starbucks head office actually didn't anticipate or really do enough research into the market in Australia that we would reject such a big chain like Starbucks. I think now they've sort of come to find their feet a little bit, but
we're coffee snobs here. Like Australians are like compared to the rest of the world.
We are
coffee snobs.
Well, that's what you see in videos all the time in America or all over the world. They talk about it. Like Australian coffee is the best.
Bro, Hugh Jackman's got a cafe in Tribeca called the Laughing Man Cafe. It was packed.
Yeah.
Back to front, like just the line was...
you'd be able to say in New York, and if you go to America, apparently you're meant to look up Australian coffee shops. There's actually an Australian couple...
so many Australian... Not just coffee shops, bro. There's so many Australian restaurants, like diners, like...
Yes.
And their specialty is serving good, like breakfast, brunch food.
I love that.
Because, bro, it's not easy to get like...
An eggs Benny.
To get like good... Like, don't get me wrong, you can go and get a really nice diner brekkie very easily in the US, but to get like a quality breakfast where you can get avocado...
And like fucking dukkha with some za'atar,
just like
shit like that.
gourmet. Because man, like what's normal to us in a cafe is considered gourmet breakfast
Over there.
literally.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, there's all these Australian restaurants. People are like, oh, like you got to try this Australian restaurant. I'm like, oh yeah, because basically the same menu as like AJ's here. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm from Australia.
Bluestone Lane is actually the name of one
massive.
of them. Bluestone Lane, huge.
big
over
on the
in
West Coast
States.
as well. Yeah.
But what was the coffee like in America? So what was that like? Because you went there
Man,
recently.
actually, it was a pretty funny experience because Kristen and I would we'd get a coffee like our first day there, and we're like, oh god, this is terrible. Like, but there was this very specific reason for it. We do single ristretto shots here. Like, is that what it's called? Ristretto when it comes out of
Espresso.
one. What do you call it when it's just like they just do one shot? What do you call that? Just one shot? Single shot?
A single shot is a 30ml shot of coffee is an espresso.
Right. Well, guess what? Over there, every single coffee is poured by default a double shot. So I'm like, why the fuck is this so bitter? Why is it so strong?
Really?
By default, every single one. So what we started doing was asking for like literally just a single shot, like 3/4 cap, because you can't get like a piccolo. You can ask for like a cortado at some places.
The ratio is different though.
Yeah, the ratio is different. So look, the coffee was all right. To be honest with you, I actually didn't mind the filter coffee as well.
I love filter coffee.
I really didn't mind it. I mean, I don't usually drink black, but I'll have put a bit of. Do you want some creamer with that?
Creamer in your coffee?
Well, I don't drink coffee.
Cream and
So
sugar?
with regard to the coffee in Australia, so going from place to place, obviously depending on the brand, is it that much different?
No, so let me tell you. So a lot of the brands, they all purchase directly off the farmer. They have a relationship with the farmers, whether it's in Kenya or Indonesia or wherever the coffee is grown. And they buy all the same green beans wholesale. And when they bring them over to Australia, the brand will then roast them to their specific liking.
Oh,
so,
you're kidding?
Yeah, so Campbell's...
So it's all the same beans?
Typically, they
Toby's
are...
Estate and
yeah,
shit.
they're typically the same beans, but once they get roasted, it just depends how long they roast them for, the style of roasting they're doing,
Yeah,
and then that'll like dictate the thing of the cup. I am so over like the snobbery of coffee. In fact, just before I got here, I had a fucking Nescafe 43 instant coffee. I'll have a Moccona.
I'm a Moccona guy.
I'm a
I love
Moccona. I know
Moccona.
you just farted.
No, I burped.
You farted.
I burped. I swear to God.
No, I saw you.
Bro, what is the difference? Like, why would I admit to a burp and not a fart?
Because
I farted on the microphone before. Do you remember that? Like, I don't care.
Okay, from chicken to farting. Listen, so like a burp is a little bit less.
I think a burp is worse, personally. I think it's more gross.
Yeah. No. Anyway.
Anyway, so that could be
Yes.
next week's topic: burps or farts. I was going to say something. What were you just talking about before my burp interrupted you?
Chicken.
Chicken.
No, what were you saying?
I love how
No,
Sean says chicken.
Chicken. No, talking
were you
about
saying?
coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Talking about
that's
coffee.
right. I was just saying, like, man, when we went to Hawaii recently and got rained the fuck out, man, like, obviously Kona coffee is a big thing. There are so many like coffee farms and stuff over there. Like, they're just huge on it. Man, we went into this one farm and they roasted it with chocolate, with honey, with like, the extent at which you can roast coffee, it must just literally, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, but at the same time, these tasting notes are like the same tasting notes that come on a bottle of wine. It says that you're going to taste cinnamon.
They're
and
so
it's
subtle.
undertones.
Yeah.
So
You know
there
what
wouldn't
I
be
mean?
a difference between Western Sydney coffee and then Eastern Sydney coffee. Not really. Pretty much the same.
I tell you what, the best coffee I've ever had in Sydney, and Kristen will attest to this, is from. Sorry, Elevate Boys. I love your coffee, but I don't know what it is about these guys. Little West and Haberfield.
I know Little West.
Bro, I don't know what it is about the way that they. It's not even
brew.
probably about the roasting. It's just probably how they do it on the machine. I don't know.
It's all about, bro.
Everyone I've spoken to who's had a coffee there has gone, man, their coffee's phenomenal. And I'm not really like a coffee snob in the sense that like I differentiate that much. I don't mind a coffee from here, coffee from there. It doesn't really matter to me as long as it's not like burn or taste too bitter or whatever. Like, but man, it's just like unbelievable
100%.
coffee.
Well, bro, it's like relating coffee to like drivers and cars. Like if you give them, the barista is like the equivalent of like an F1 driver. If you give Daniel Ricciardo a Kia,
He'll kill it.
He'll kill it on that, bro.
Yeah.
But likewise, if you give a Ferrari, let's say to like a woman,
He actually tried to physically bite his tongue. I saw that. So just watch the footage. He tried really hard. That's the most important thing. And that, my friends, is what we call progress.
Progress.
Well, if you gave your F1 to, let's say, like like an Asian. No, I'm joking.
Oh my god! The cat's out of the bag now.
Episode 32.
Nah, but seriously, it's all about the driver, and that's why, like, when Andy is on the machine at Elevate, it's sensational, and then like you get, then you got Zach.
You got Zach. You got Nick. It was so funny. Zach was this morning. Zach was
Zach.
he was in the kitchen. He was cooking up. He was cooking. I'm like, oh, did you guys give this bloke a promotion? And he was just anyway. He had to be there.
Sounds like it. Sounds like a good story.
It was funny. Everyone laughed.
I thought it was really interesting, Shawnee, how you posed the question, and that's what we do. We like to pose questions. Like, what would be the difference between, say, a cafe in like the eastern suburbs or out west?
Yeah,
I don't think,
or out north. I don't know. Like, is there a difference?
I think
or
it's
not?
just the difference in terms of like the whole experience, right? So if you're
I guess
having
so.
You probably have to order on a fucking QR code.
I mean, if they're all
in the city, it's so annoying.
If they're all ordering it from
I
the
hate
same
that.
place, then
correct.
I mean, it's going to be
but
very
like the
similar.
it's all the external factors. But like if you're sitting in Bondi watching the sunrise, having a flat white versus at the train station in Mount Druitt, like which one's going to taste better?
Yeah, true.
Mount Druitt, no.
Man, I'm a big believer. Like that's why I tend to find that when I go and eat with people, they tend to be a lot of the time more critical of food than me, and I always wondered why. And I mean, it could be my taste buds, but I'm a big sucker for the experience. So if I'm having
Like
a great
who you're
time,
with
good
and-
company, the atmosphere is great, the service is great,
Yeah.
it will taste better to me, and everything will just be better. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I get
Whereas
that.
I definitely like have been with a lot of people that are like, they just kind of take the food for what it is, and they'll either be like, oh, it's all right, or this is better. And then I guess when I think deeply, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess, but like, this is great. So
Yeah, I love
that's
it.
the problem.
Yeah, I
Stop
like
being
that.
a negative
The
fucking
experience, that's
Nancy.
The western suburbs. What do you think about the West?
The West
Well,
is
the
best?
West is West is the third largest economy in the country. Did you know that Western Sydney?
Put some
Or it's
respect on my name.
Surely it would be.
projected to be. Mate, we've got the airport coming. We got like
Parramatta in itself is
chicken.
massive. Chicken. Yeah,
We got-
Parramatta in itself is massive, and then obviously there's there's all the way down to Penrith. Parramatta to Penrith is like half an hour,
Right.
40 minutes sometimes.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Bro, that's a
the
big,
chicken, and it's a chicken
massive.
capital of Australia.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah,
Everyone
so
knows
it's
that.
so it's a big area.
Everyone
It
knows.
is.
And the West, like I mean, Western Sydney, I would argue, probably better than Western Australia.
Oh, listen, I think.
Well, Penrith,
West versus
Penrith
West.
has a beach now.
Oh,
The new
someone
beach.
died.
Yeah, I know.
Bro, what the
It was
fuck?
on the
Two
second day or
people
something.
drowned in like the
Yeah.
first 24 hours. I can't believe it's open again.
It's a
Oh,
fucking.
or 24
it's a
hours.
pond. They call it Pondi.
Yeah, it's not.
That is fucking
Pondi, that's
brilliant.
good.
Pondi.
All right, you hit it here first.
No, you don't. Someone did steal that from somewhere. Steal that.
So take your chicken down to Pondi. Take your coffee.
Yeah, take your chicken.
What's
All right.
going on with all the accidents in the West? Do you remember the fucking was it Village Roadshow? Was it Wet and Wild? That huge accident with the ride.
No.
Didn't someone die or something?
Don't
wasn't
make
that
claims
Dream
without
World?
knowing what
Wasn't it?
happened.
No,
So-
what-
No,
was
it happened.
Like,
they
recently?
shut down the park.
Recently.
Wasn't it Village Roadshow?
I know they had the
It was
massive
years
accident.
ago, man.
Dream World, where it flipped over. and those people
bro,
died.
that was really sad.
I swear they
There
shut
wa-
one down.
There was one in Dreamworld,
Yeah, they
bro.
shut it down,
They had-
yeah, Dreamworld.
the little kid died, or
There was
the mother died.
There was like 3 or 4 people died. I'm pretty sure because well, whatever it was flipped over and they got
That's a
stuck
lot of
underneath.
people's worst nightmare. It's a lot of people don't want to get on rides.
Yeah.
Very sad, very sad. But there, you know,
I was just thinking about those videos when
Don't-
yeah, well, we just
Yeah.
I think there's plenty to talk about.
there's so much to
Western
unpack here,
Sydney.
and I really love talking about, I guess, the things that
Chicken.
we have. Chicken.
We didn't even talk about the canteen lunch orders
Oh
and shit.
yeah, that
there's
was
so-
good.
there's
Aussie culture. There's just so much here.
There's so much here. We're so much to unpack, guys.
Aussie culture from the lens of, you know, like, you know, strictly speaking, ethnics. Like,
Yes.
as in people who aren't, like, you know, Caucasian and
Yeah,
Australian.
Pakiha or Palangi.
What is it?
Pakiha
Pakiha?
or Palangi.
Or Palangi.
You're a
there's
Palangi.
Palangi.
there's an guilo is how you say it in guilo.
Or white. They say white.
Yeah, white boy.
Guilo.
In,
Or gringo.
it's Chinese or
Gringo.
something.
Yeah, gringo.
Gringo, guilo.
Or you know what they say?
Guilo is Chinese.
You know
isn't
how
it?
they
Or
say in
Japanese,
Arabic?
fuck. What?
Austral.
He's Australian.
That's the right.
That's good.
هم أسترال؟
عيد بهالاسترال ما في اكل.
It's like no food.
Oh, so by the way, these shorts I was telling you about. So I was in Granville.
Maddie's wearing
I
Camilla
was in
shorts 2 weeks in a row now.
Maryland, and very multicultural place I found. I stand in the middle of that center, and there's so much great people there.
In
so
where,
one
Granville?
guy,
'Cause
no,
what for-
Maryland.
It's not
Maryland's-
that multicultural.
Stop,
Not really.
It's literally
Arabs.
Lebos, Syrians, Egyptians.
No, there was Asians,
Afghans.
there were Indians, there were a
Yeah,
couple
true,
white,
true,
Afghans.
1 or 2 white people there. So there was this bloke wearing shorts, not like this, but very similar. But he had the exact same jacket on, zip up jacket.
Yeah, it's fake Versace.
Bro, I
shenanigans.
was like, bro, this guys look sick.
It's sick.
I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, you know why? Because it's the same thing he wore to the fucking Christmas party one year.
Yeah, similar. And it was tall, and he had the short shorts on. I was like, hey, you look pretty alright.
That's all
I
right.
was
No, you
like, Maddie should get a jacket like that. Yeah, with those chains.
Yeah, Maddie's very Versace spec.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He's got those t-shirts he bought recently. I like them.
Final thoughts.
More to come. More to come.
Episode 32.
It's been good. Like, I think, like, this is kind of like, it's kind of cool. Like this, like the nostalgia stuff and thinking back to memories.
Yeah, and how it relates to today and how it relates around Sydney and
Absolutely.
connections towards each suburb. Like, it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to unpack here. I think a lot of great discussions to be had.
Yeah.
Definitely. You know, and I like talking about things that I think that we have a personal experience with. And even we were talking a little bit, and this is just we're just speaking our thoughts here. Like, you know, we did a sales podcast last week, and there was a lot of stuff we really enjoyed, but I think we've always performed at our best or had our best discussions when, you know, it's not, I guess, reciting things that we that in theory, because even in school, like, you never really were captivated when the teacher was kind of just talking theory wise. It was always great when they related it back to, you know, their own experiences or things like
Yeah.
that.
So, final thought then, where's your favorite chicken spot? I don't think we just- we
yeah.
said that.
Look, I'm gonna have to say. I'm gonna have to say Frango's. Am I allowed to just? And the reason I'm gonna say that is because, I mean, the chicken is on par, or if not the best. And then they've got the rice, they've got the burgers. Like, they just they do everything well. Have you ever ordered the pork belly from there?
Oh, fuck, the
You have
lamb
no
is
idea.
delicious.
The pork belly is a joke.
Is it halal?
I'd have to say Frango's. Not sure.
What about you?
It pains me to say.
3, 2, 1, go.
Frangos. Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason being,
Frangos.
because if I had a gun to my head and someone said, you got your last meal, all right, and you're on death row, what is it? I'll probably say Frangos because I got that mayo with it. But my heart breaks for not having that doom and the pickles with it.
Yeah, I get what you're
I
saying.
don't know, bro.
Yeah.
Probably Frangos.
Nice.
Frangos for the chicken itself, all right? But, like, you know, overall, I don't know. Frangos.
Sounds like you got a new idea here, new chicken idea.
chicken.
Could
Bit
be.
of Toombo slice. Shawnee, what about you?
I'm going to say,
Charcoal challenge.
yeah, probably.
I knew it.
You know the reason why? Because they have that selection of things you can get. Like, there's options.
Let me just stop.
That's the only reason why.
I love that. But charcoal
Yeah.
Charlie's, to me, everything looks good, but nothing tastes good.
It's just, I feel like it is personal.
So
I think it's,
bland.
I was about to say bland.
So bland.
Yeah.
No
It is
fucking
more
seasoning.
bland.
There's no seasoning, bro.
It is more
Yeah.
bland.
White people don't know how to season shit.
Yes, that's true. All right.
All right, guys. We are the Dropouts. That's episode 32.
Man, we're on our way to 40.
Thanks for
Let's go.
listening.
Let's go.
Catch
Episode
us later.
32, titled Chicken.
See you at Pondo
Toodles.
Pools.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Zhej.